Hey trainers, He Likes to Go here, back with some more Great League battles. Today I'm going to be showcasing a team that I created. It is a triple shadow team based around Shadow Salamence. I paired it alongside Shadow Granbull and Shadow Empoleon. And I climbed from rank 7 to 11, up 4 ranks with this one team in the same set of 5 battles. So we're going to go ahead and hop right into it here. It's going to be Shadow Salamence versus Medicham on the lead. That's a positive lead for us. He's going to safe swap into a Bastiodon, and I'm going to come in with my Empoleon. And right here, I didn't really want to block the flamethrower. He ended up throwing a Stone Edge, so I like to overcharge now. I farm up on energy a ton. Hit him with the Hydro Cannon, and he likes to shield right here for some reason. I'm not sure why. But it's going to be a wasted shield on his end. He's going to fire back another Stone Edge, so I'm going to keep my shield as well. And I fire off the Hydro Cannon on the incoming Medicham, and that forces him to throw his energy as well, which is perfect. We've flipped the switch now. Come back in with the Shadow Granbull and just charm this thing down, dude. Just chunk it down. In comes a Registeel, and we're gonna almost one shot with the close combat right here. The whole tanky Registeel, man, goes down, and he top lefts. That's a GG. Next opponent is going to be Shadow Dragonite. Watch this one. I'm going to throw 3 Dragon Tails and then boom, come in with the Granbull and completely deny that Shadow Dragonite's energy. What's he going to come in with? It's going to be Azumarill. I'm going to build up, and I'm going to block this Ice Beam here. And I'm going to throw a Crunch, and I believe he does shield as well. Even though it's resisted, that would chunk him pretty hard. I was fishing for a debuff right there. I didn't get it, so now at this point I am going to let the Ice Beam go through. I come with my Empoleon, and he's got a Bastiodon in the back, and this is pretty much a GG from here. I'm going to throw Hydro Pump number 1, and Hydro Pump number 2. I will shield this up, I believe, even though I could have lived it, but we are a little glassy because we're the Shadow version of Empoleon. Anyway, I fire off my Hydro Pump and then Hydro Cannon, and I end up farming a whole bunch and just doing 2 Dragon Tails in with the Salamence, so that's a GG. Next opponent, it's going to be a Venusaur. That's a win for us. He's gonna safe swap into a Clefable. I come with my Shadow Empoleon. Most likely eat a Meteor Mash or a Swift or whatever he's gonna throw. It's all resisted right here. And I fire off my Hydro Cannon. We'll see what he decides to do. Come back in with the Venusaur, and I'm able to throw on good timing at least 1 Drill Peck right here. He is going to be able to just farm me down though and get a huge head start on energy. I come back in with the Shadow Salamence. Right here, he throws a Sludge Bomb. I actually would have just Frenzy Planted if I was him, because you would expect me to shield that. He comes back in with the Blast from the Past, a Noctowl. Noctowl is going to throw a Sky Attack. I do shield the first, and I let the second go through, because at this point we're just going to come in and charm this owl out the sky. And Venusaur does have a move loaded. We block the Frenzy Plant and just charm this Poison type down, and that's a GG. Next opponent, Sirfetch'd. That's a win lead for us. We're going to just 3-4 Dragon Tails. Shadow Dragon Tails almost knocks this thing completely out. So we're just going to win that lead and keep alignment, come out with a whole bunch of energy, and throw a Fly on an incoming Galarian Weezing. He does not respect the Fly damage, and I come in with the Shadow Empoleon and just completely farm that thing down. What's he got in the back? It's going to be a Talonflame. And we're going to be able to make 2 Hydro Cannons before he throws 1 move, I believe. Second Hydro Cannon coming through. Now it's a completely loaded energy here, and it's kind of an awkward situation because I don't have enough health in the Shadow Salamence. Or maybe I do. He does Flame Charge, and I'm able to make a Fly and knock that thing out. GG's. This is a super fun, awesome team, man. We got a Shadow Salamence versus Lanturn on the lead. Nobody's really running Lanturn anymore because he got nerfed. And I end up shielding a Surf right here. That was a bit unfortunate, but so I decided to just keep farming up, and I almost probably could have just Dragon Tailed that thing down. In comes a Talonflame. I safe swap out into my Empoleon. That drags out a Sceptile. We're going to throw a Drill Peck on good timing. And he's going to build up to back-to-back here, so I believe I do let it go. Excuse me. Come back in with my Shadow Granbull, and I'm going to have to eat a Frenzy Plant or shield right here. Oh, it's just an Aerial Ace. I ended up calling it. That was a good play. But he comes back in with the Talonflame, and I'm gonna most likely unable to be making a Crunch right here. and I swap into my Salamence, throw the fly. I actually made a misplay right there. I probably should have just crunched first and then threw the fly, and that would have definitely KO'd, but we're unable to take that game. GG's to the opponent. Next lead, we have Scrafty. Nobody really uses Scrafty anymore either, but we're going to go ahead and just Dragon Tail this thing down and make a catch onto our Granbull. It's going to be a power up punch. It's going to either force him to swat. He just ended up staying in there and got chunked for some reason with a charm. In comes a Bronzong. I throw a crunch, and I am hoping to get that debuff, and I do not get the debuff, but we take a shield, and that's beautiful. Now we're up 2 shields to 1. He ends up throwing a Psychic, and I'm definitely glad I shielded right there. I take his second shield right here, one more Dragon Tail, and I make a catch onto my Shadow Empoleon, which is going to be resisted damage. Shadow Empoleon is going to farm that thing down. What does he got in the back? It's going to be that Scrafty coming in. I fire off my Drill Peck, knock that thing out. What does he got? Last Pokemon is going to be a Politoed, and here I actually probably should have Hydro Cannoned. I believe that it's probably around this. It's right around the same amount of damage, but good for us. We force him to throw his energy, and I have a fly loaded for the Salamence in the back, and that's a GG. Hope you guys are enjoying the battles, man. If you do, please leave a like and subscribe, and drop a comment down below at any time. I would greatly appreciate it. It helps the channel a lot. We have a Marowak on the lead. It's going to be resisted mud slap damage coming through against my Salamence, but I do end up shielding right here. I believe, yeah, it is a Rock Slide, so that was a good shield by me, and I end up almost Dragon Tailing this thing down, and I make a catch onto my Shadow Granbull. Not the best. Shadows are not the best Pokemon to make catches on, man, because they're so glassy, but yeah, see what I mean? I got just farmed down completely there by that Gastrodon. In comes a Moltres. Now, I actually made a misplay. I meant to throw the fly right there, but I was trying to get the bigger move for some reason, like it wouldn't pull a shield. So now we're just in a really awkward situation. I don't think I'm going to be able to take this battle. I do farm down the Moltres, but I have a Drill Peck loaded. Back-to-back moves, but even the Hydro Cannon is not going to be enough to knock this thing out. He's going to do one Body Slam, and that's a GG. Just a couple of misplays here, man. Not the team's fault. Nextly, we have a Meganium. That's going to be beautiful for us. I'm going to throw a couple Dragon Tails, see what it decides to do. Coming with a Bastiodon. That's an immediate swap into my Shadow Empoleon. And we're going to Hydro Cannon this thing down or take a shield. And we don't. So I believe I do shield up right here. I don't shield. He ends up throwing a Stone Edge. For some reason, these Bastios are throwing Stone Edges at my Empoleon instead of Flamethrower. But that's okay. Let's knock this thing out. We're going to have make just enough energy to have one Drill Peck on the Meganium in the back coming in. That pulls a shield. That's beautiful. Now, perfect alignment. We flip the switch, and now in comes a Skarmory. And now this gets tricky because he's gonna make a move and force my shield before. Yeah, and I'm able to make a crunch. I'm able to make a crunch, but I actually should have threw that immediately just in case I got a debuff. That way my charms would be chunking him a little heavier. I didn't get a debuff, but he does come out with an attack loader, and I do have to shield this Brave Bird up. So that's going to be a fly coming in on the Meganium in the back, and that's a GG. Shadow Power, man. It's just super quick, fun battles, man. They're hard to beat. We have a Feraligatr. Watch this one. This one plays out friggin' awesome. I do like 4 Dragon Tails, and I have to shield the Hydro Cannon, but 2 more Dragon Tails down that would have knocked him out, but he ends up swapping into a, what was that, a Muck? Oh, it was a Drapion. So I make a switch into my Shadow Empoleon, and I make a Sludge Bomb, eat that Sludge Bomb. I'm able to fire off a Drill Peck, and let's see what he decides to do. Here I expected another Sludge Bomb or Aqua Tail, but he ended up having Crunch. That knocked me out completely. It threw me off. I'm going to come back in with the Shadow Salamence and throw a fly before he's able to knock me out because we're so glassy. And I make a safe switch to my Shadow Granbull, and in comes a Venusaur, and this is terrible. We're looking not too good at this point, but he tries to make a catch onto the Feraligatr, and I end up just charming that thing down, and he tops left. GG's. Next opponent, Gallade. He's going to immediately swap out into that Gator, and now I'm going to definitely stay in because he's behind. He's able to make the Hydro Cannon, of course, but I end up shielding up and come out with like 1.5 flies. He decides to bring in a Wigglytuff. I save swap into my Empoleon. This is just not looking good for him. I make a Hydro Cannon, connects. He doesn't shield. He's going to try to save 2 shields for the Gallade sweep in the back. I don't even believe it's Shadow Gallade. It's non-Shadow Gallade. So I'm gonna let this move go through. It's gonna be a Leaf Blade. He does still have energy loaded, but I also have energy loaded on my my Salamence. I come in with the Fly, take his shield, let the move go through, and little does he know I have a Shadow Granbull lurking in the back, and that's gonna be a top left GG. Next opponent, Mandibuzz. Let's see how we play this one. I believe we do stay in, and I try to fire on good timing. He actually makes the moves before I do. And I end up shielding up just an Aerial Ace. That's unfortunate for us, but he safe swaps into an Azumarill, and I come in with my Shadow Empoleon. Here again, I've made the mistake of throwing the Drill Peck instead of the Hydro Cannon. I think it only does a little bit more damage if I'm not mistaken, but I need to start getting in the habit of doing that. I just autopilot to the non-stab move because it's the same type attack right here. So yeah, it looks like it does very similar damage anyway. So play rough coming through. I do lose a shield in that matchup, but I come in with my Shadow Salamence. In comes the Gator. I throw right on good timing before he gets to that Hydro Cannon, and I'm able to make another Fly and force both of his shields in that matchup, and I end up swapping into my Granbull, saving just a little bit of energy on that Salamence for later, and we charm that Gator down. It's going to be hopefully a Granbull sweep right here. Just chunk away at this Mandibuzz. Something in the back doesn't want to see the Granbull either, so it's that Azumarill with no health, and he top lefts. GG's. Well played. We have Clodsire lead. We're going to definitely stay in here. We're going to get to a Fly, but we see him P-Time and he gets the Stone Edge off, so I do have to shield that up, but I end up over farming a ton here to force a shield and hopefully force both shields, and I might make some kind of a catch. Yep. Oh, I tried to catch onto my Empoleon right there, but he's seeing P-Time before I could get out of there, so now I stay in. He comes in with the Mandibuzz, and I'm going to actually just stay in as well and chip at this thing and most likely dip. And I do exactly that. I come in with the Granbull. The best he could throw is an Aerial Ace. Whoop-de-doo. We charm that bird out the sky. He's going to come back in with the Clodsire, of course, and I'm able to make a Crunch before he makes the Stone Edge, which is beautiful. It's going to knock him out or force the shield. We knock that thing out. It's going to be Shadow Gator in the back. Excuse me. And this actually could still be tough because Gator up energy like this one is right here is pretty scary. I actually tried to make a catch right there onto my Empoleon. Onto the Salamence. I'm able to make a Fly, and but I'm not able to make that extra Dragon Claw, and he's able to get that extra Hydro Cannon off because Gator's just so spammy, man. GG's. As you can see, I started at 7 or 8, and I'm at 11 now. I believe I end up on 12 right after. We have Skeledirge on the lead. It builds up to the Disarming Voice, and I make a beautiful catch onto my Empoleon, denying all of that energy, so I have that Salamence energy to come back into that battle later. I end up drawing out a Ferrothorn. Ferrothorn is going to force a shield from me. He ended up taking that Drill Peck and not shielding, which is unfortunate. And I'm going to have to double shield up the Empoleon here. That's okay, it happens sometimes. I'm going to build up to another Drill Peck here. Hopefully able to make a second one. Oh, nope, I make a catch, and I make a combo play with my Salamence with the Fly loaded. That denies all of his energy, and now the Skeletor just coming back in. He's going to be able to make a Disarming Voice, but we chunked him with those Dragon Tails. Now I'm going to come back in with the Empoleon. He's got a Gator in the back, of course, as to be expected. It's going to be a non-Shadow Gator, so actually this could be favorable for us right here. We 3 charms, and we knocked that thing out, and he top lefts. GG's. Oh yeah, Altaria on the lead. Let's go. We're going to do the same play as last time, throw about 3 or 4 Dragon Tails, and then come in with the Granbull. He actually decides to stay in and let the Altaria... Oh, he does swap out into an Azumarill. This is where I end up learning from my mistake last time. I crunched immediately instead of over farming, and we do get the debuff. See that? So now I could have let this go through, but since I got the debuff, I know these charms would just chunk at this Azumarill, and we're unable to knock it out, but that's okay. We're going to come back in with the Shadow Empoleon and get a huge head on energy. We're down a shield. They're up a shield, but in comes a Deoxys. He tries to make a catch, and he completely throws that. Now I'm just like throwing these Hydro Cannons. I come in with the Shadow Salamence, throw the Fly. At this point, we're going to chunk this thing. He ends up throwing a Rock Slide. That's a whole lot of energy, and I have a Hydro Cannon loaded, and that is a GG to the opponent. Super quick, fun battles, man. These Shadows are so strong. We have the Gator on the lead. They're usually not expecting a Shadow Salamence, so we're going to make the same play. We're just going to keep Dragon Tailing this thing away until he goes down or swaps out. He ends up keeping alignment and letting the Gator go down and coming in with a Ariados, I believe that was. Yep, just gonna force the shield out of him. I end up banking a fly for later and making a catch, a Trailblaze catch onto my Empoleon, which is a non-stab move for area dose, so I was able to eat that a little easier. But now the next move will hurt, but I am gonna elect to let that go through and come back in with the Shadow Salamence. Hopefully make a fly, but his attack is boosted, so I'm forced to throw that. I wouldn't have had to throw that fly if he didn't Trailblaze his attack, but he has a Malamar in the back, and little does he know, we have the Granbull, and that's a GG. Next opponent is going to be the Quillfish. We just chunk away with the Dragon Tails and end up making a catch. I thought this would actually be something heavier than a Sludge Bomb for some reason, like a dark move, and it wasn't. I shielded up anyway, so I have a Drill Puck against the incoming Scrafty. I'm going to be unable to make a second one, but that's perfectly fine with me. We're going to come back in with the Granbull and completely charm that thing down. Granbull is ruthless against these fighting type Pokemon, and then he's even the poison type, even against his opponents, man. We come back in, charm that thing down, and what does he got in the back? It's going to be a double poison lineup with the Swalot. So I throw fly number 1, and then fly number 2, and this thing is not even able to make a first attack before we make 2. It's a GG. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed the battles, please leave a like, drop a comment down below, and subscribe to the channel. I've only been doing YouTube a couple months, and I would greatly appreciate your support. Have a great rest of your day.